gentlemen. Thank you for coming. Today we're going to have a guest speaker, Mr. Gerry Olsen, and he's going to be talking about the canal grade, the
grades of Western Ventura County.
Grades of Western Ventura County, and there's 4 grades he's going to be talking about, which I didn't know there was 4 grades in the county. I thought canal grade, that's the main one, right? But he said, oh no, there's always more. So without further ado, I'll let you introduce you to Mr. Olsen. Sorry.
Can you hear me without the microphone?
Okay.
Okay, all right, we're going to do without it. All right, let's give you a little orientation. First place, it's delightful to be here. This is the second time I've had an opportunity to come and share with you. You have an absolutely gorgeous museum. I mean, it's great, and I love the ball. Yeah. It took some work. If you want to get into that, you're going to have to work. You got a brand new clock from the Janelle. So there. All right, we're going to be talking about the grades of Western Ventura County today. The one we know about is the canal grade. How many have been up and down the canal grade? 134,000 cars go up and down that grade during a weekday. All right, how about the long grade? Over here. Okay, make sure I get the right thing. Right there. The long grade of the Ventura grade. How many have driven that grade? Well, that's where it all started. If you want to get to Canal Valley and you want to get to LA in the 1800s, early in the 1800s.
Is that the one behind the hospital?
Behind the hospital, which is now the university. Ventura grade long grade. Talk about this. All right, how many here have driven the Norwegian grade? Okay, right here. Connects Joel McRae's property. How many who know what Joel McRae is? Right. Let's talk about that. And why build that? Okay. And then we're going to talk about the Butterfield grade right here. That connects what is now Cal Lutheran with Santa Rosa School. Except that neither one of them were there at the time. Okay, that was a stagecoach ride. Okay, does everybody have a blue handout? Okay. This was published by the Museum of Ventura County, and it's about Ventura County in 1879, 138 years ago. What was happening right here? Probably the most important single place in the county was right here. The wharf. The wharf. 255,000 sacks were shipped out of the wharf that year, 1879, including 235,000 sacks of barley. A lot of barley in Ventura County then. Okay. So, very interesting. So, how did you get around in 1879? You didn't get in your car? There was no television? The kid asked me, he said, how were you raised without television? So, you notice the young lady at the top here riding shotgun? Okay. All right. So the stagecoach route. Santa Barbara to Los Angeles in 48 hours or less. Okay. All right, you go down the coast at low tide. There's no road. There's no boardwalk. You stop in Ventura. You're up Main Street. Across the Santa Clara River, there's no bridge. And we're going to get across the Santa Clara River at low tide. Okay. All right. We're going to stop at Samuel Cohen's New Jerusalem. How many know where that is? Okay. The Esplanade now.
Oh.
Licorice. Okay. We're on to Springville. Where's Springville?
Next Camarillo.
Okay, we're going to stop you at John Sebastian's Mercantile. Okay. And then we're going to go up the long grade. The last mile is the steepest grade in the county, 12%. How many of you here have tried it with a bicycle? So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about first the trail grade and what it was like. Okay? You have 74 bales of hay and you have 10 mules in front of you. And you are on top right here. Okay, see right there. Okay. Your job is to get these 74 bales of hay down the patrol grade without. Okay. We're going to take a tree and we're going to put it in the back wheels of the wagon, the last wagon, with the idea that maybe we can skid the wagon down and force the mules to pull it down. Okay, 1898, Orage Hansen, taking bales of hay from the canal down to the Oxnard Plain. He's on top. They start down. The wagon runs up on the mules. The mules panic. They're over the side with Jorge. Jorge is in at home, a broken back for 1 year. In bed. 2 weeks later, they tried again with a new bunch, new mules, new hay, the works. The mules start down. They smell the dead animals. They panic. And over the side, they.
This is in the Camino, right?
This is the patrol grade.
Okay.
So, 1900, 1901, the ranchers on the canal decide we're going to build a grade. So, this is my father. This is my grandfather here. Okay. Norwegian grade. Why build the Norwegian grade? Well, we've already had 2 loads go off the patrol grade. One man laid up for a year. So they start work building the Norwegian grade. It's all by hand. And we're going to get you up here because you think the Norwegian grade's done. No. There's a lot more work to be done. So we're going to get you up. You do work on it. Okay? So we're going to take a star drill and we're going to go into the basalt and we're going to get a hole in the basalt that's 8 inches deep. Okay, once we've got a hole in the basalt 8 inches deep, we're going to take a stick of dynamite, and this is road for it, not a stick of dynamite. And we're going to stick it in that hole. And if we're really lucky, we're going to get in 16 inches and we can get 2 sticks in there. Okay? We're going to light the fuse, and what are we going to say?
Run.
Run!
Fire in the hole.
Fire in the hole! And what has happened here now is they blasted, and now we're going to get a work on it. If you look at this carefully here, this is an axle rod from a car that's been pounded into a pick. This is a plain old hole.
Jerry,
Here.
how did you come across that picture? How were you fortunate enough to get that picture?
My grandmother took it.
Oh, wow.
Okay, plain old hoe, just like this hoe right here. Okay, all right. Then we're going to. All I need to do is find. Here we go. And I'll pass this picture around so everybody knows. Then we're going to use a Fresno or a sled, and we're going to, by pulling up the handle in the back, and then we say, hey! The mules move forward, and you scoop up the rocks and stuff. Haw! You're off to the right, and you bump it over the edge. Okay?
Your dad doesn't have any shoes on.
That's true. That's a whole other story. So, what are you going to do with the rock that my father's standing on? You can't get that into the Fresno. Well, what's this?
Wait.
Wedge. We're going to split that rock into smaller pieces so we can get it into the sled and over the edge. Now this is how the early grades were made. The Ventura grade opened in 1861, the Norwegian grade in 1910, and the Canal grade originally in the 1880s, thereabouts, and so forth. Okay. All right. The original canal grade, we're jumping back and forth. 1902, it's paved. What was it like before? Well, it was a trail. And you took your mules and your horses up. Now, the ladies had to get out and walk up because they couldn't pull you up. And you had to carry a rock because the purpose was, as the mules got up there, they had to rest. And when they rested, you put the rock underneath the wheel so that it wouldn't slide back. When you got to the top of the canal grade, you could get back out and ride towards the stagecoach inn.
Why did you say the ladies had to walk? Why did you say the ladies had to walk?
They up the canal grade.
But why?
Because the horses couldn't pull the wagon, it was too steep. So, 1902, we have a paved road. It's 2 lanes, 47 switchbacks.
And how long did it take him to build it?
I'm not sure about that. I'll talk about 36 and 54 and things. Okay, and if you drive down the canal grade and pull over the side about halfway down and go over to the edge and look down, you can see parts and pieces of what's left of this. Still there. 1936. What do they do in 36? We have 3 lanes. 1 lane up, and 1 lane down, and 1 lane to pass. Any problems with that? Well, we're passing up and we're passing down, and we're crashing into each other. Now, remember, anybody here remember that? This is before 54. At 54, we get completely different arrangement. We start taking huge chunks out of the mountain, and so forth. And now we have the alignment, and people complain that they can only go up the canal grade at 60 miles an hour. So forth. All right, let's talk canal grade. Questions about the canal grade? And questions about the Norwegian grade. Oh, I want to tell you about a little bit more about the Norwegian grade. It was modernized in 2010, Now, the first grade here, the total cost was $100 to go. Okay. $40 for right-of-way and $60 for diamond. Okay. In 2010, the city of Thousand Oaks did a beautiful job of reconditioning the Norwegian grade. And you can see a modern one here, has a guardrail, has drainage, and so forth. How much do you think the city of Thousand Oaks spent to modernize the Norwegian grade in 2010?
$2 million.
10,
Remember, the original grade cost how much? $100. Okay. How much starting at 1.2, 1.5 million? Did a beautiful job. It's now considered a 5-drink grade. It's going to take you 5 drinks to get over the edge. It used to be called a 1-drink grade. You could go over the edge. Wow. Oh, one interesting story about the Norwegian grade. Built 1900, 1901 to 1910. I called Caltrans. I said, what records do you have of highway, this is 23 originally, and the Norwegian grade? 4 days later, I got a call back. There is no records of the Norwegian grade. Do you mean to tell me they built this grade without an environmental impact study? Without a compaction? And the wildlife were not consulted? Apparently, they just built the grade.
whose lands was it?
It was, part of it was my grandfather's, and then they spent $40 to buy the rest of the right-of-way, the lower part of it. Questions on the Norwegian grade? We're hopping around a little bit here.
Your dad with no shoes. Your dad with no shoes.
Yeah, no shoes, oh, no shoes, she asked about the shoes.
Yeah.
Okay. No shoes. Father went to first grade at age 9. He had to have shoes to go to school. Grandfather made him a pair of shoes out of a cowhide because they did not have money to go to buy shoes. So, and he ran around there, as you see, no shoes on. All right, let's talk.
I have still a question, Jerry.
Yes.
How long did it take for those farmers with their shovels and dynamite to get something in
Did
there?
this get around to everybody?
Yeah.
A little bit closer? They worked basically in the winter months. They sowed the seeds in November. The winter months they were off while it rained. This was all dry land farming.
No, I'm saying, how long did it take to build the road?
Build the road.
Their
By
shovels.
1902, 1903, they had 1 lane through.
How long
one
did it
lane.
take?
3 years.
Or like a year to do a lane.
Yeah, about a year. Okay.
How many people?
They basically the Norwegian Colony farmers and their hired hands. The ones that did it. Okay, now we have 1 lane.
But they worked all year long, did they?
Well, they worked all day long during the winter months.
All year long?
Oh,
Oh,
no, not during the
Not
harvest
the summer.
season, they would not be working.
so all day long they were out there shoveling?
Yeah. Dynamiting.
Who was working the farms?
Well, after you know, my father said to me when I was in high school, I said, I want to go to town, we're going to have a good big time. And I was in high school. He said, no problem. We get up at 5 o'clock, we got to go out and feed the stock, milk the cow, and just take care of the chickens before they went out.
Did you have meal delivery by the women, something through the day?
No, we had, when I was young, we were a rural route 1, box 570, Camarillo, California. That was Canal Valley. Yes,
What was, say, an average pay that they got paid for a day's work? Do you have any idea?
well, grandfather also helped build the first Santa Rosa school. That's another story. The pay was, her pay was very good, $30 a month with board and room, and she stayed with a farmer. It's not unusual to pay $1 or $2 a day with board and room. This is 20s, 30s. All right. Butterfield rate.
Jerry,
So-
one more question.
Yes,
You said that part of that was your grandfather's land.
yes,
So how did that come, because you said they didn't have much money, but he owned that land.
yes. In 1890, grandfather, along with 4 other Norwegian men, were living in Santa Barbara. They had come from Norway. All of them they had no property, because at that point in Norway and Scandinavia, the oldest son inherited the farm. Everybody else was going to become a sharecropper, a servant, a courtier for someone else. So what was happening in America? America with a K. The Land Act, 1861, 1862. 160 acres are yours if you homestead for 5 years. Now, this wasn't quite that way, but this was America. The white steamship line was looking for space. How many have seen the Titanic?
There's exhibit now.
Okay. How many remember the steerage scene? That's how my grandfather, my grandmother, and perhaps many of your ancestors came to America with steerage. $49, probably a year's wages, from Norway to Santa Barbara.
Oh, they were going through around the Horn?
No. White steamship line, now we have diesel, not coal, I'm sorry, coal, 9 days across the Atlantic. You're into New York, there's no immigration, there's no rails allowed yet, okay? You get on a train and it's 9 days, the Trans-Continental Railroad is complete. 1869, we're there. 9 days you're across America. Sacramento. Stage from Sacramento to San Francisco, then the railroad had not come yet, and to Santa Barbara by stage and so forth. There was a small Norwegian colony in Santa Barbara, and they were looking for land. And they looked here on the Oxnard Plain. Land was $25 an acre.
What year was that?
1890. $25 an acre. Land on the canal was $2 for hillsides and $3 for flatlands. So for $2,800, they bought 641 acres, and that became the Norwegian colony, which is now Kalamazoo. And up there, land up there now is between 50 and 100,000 an acre now. If you can buy it. Other question?
That's where Olsen Road came from then.
Yeah, that's named after my grandfather.
Oh.
How many here have heard of Joaquin Murrieta? Well, Joaquin liked the Butterfield grade and the Calabasas grade. And he liked Santa Susana Pass. Hey. Who was Joaquin?
Mexican band.
Oh, there you go. He liked to help people get rid of their change. And their jewelry, and you don't want to keep that. And so, after they left Stagecoach Inn, now remember we had lunch, Stagecoach Inn, middle of the 101 freeway now, been reconstructed. You go one of two ways. One, Calabasas grade, Los Angeles, And the other to the Butterfield grade, which connected the canal with Santa Rosa Valley, Cal Lutheran area, Santa Rosa School, okay, across the Cherahada, and up with the chute in Santa Susana Pass. And Joaquin would be very glad to stop you at the top with his sawed-up shotgun and help you out. So far. Okay. And now 48 hours, remember, Santa Barbara to Los Angeles, maybe. And the Butterfield grade basically connected Canal Valley and Santa Rosa Valley. You know what's on those switchbacks now? Homes, $1 million homes. So we just stop at Santa Rosa School, get out, you'll see the plaque there for my grandfather and others that helped build for the school. And you'll look up, and here are the homes and the switchback. Okay, let's see.
Where is the Santa Rosa School? I'm a little confused. I keep thinking it's the one.
Okay, looking, this is sort of eastern end of the county, Camarillo, Thousand Oaks. Okay, here is Santa Rosa School, Santa Rosa Road, upper end of Santa Rosa Valley. You go this way to Moore Park, right up here, go eastward to Simi Valley, and this is the Canal Valley here. Okay, and the Norwegian grade is the one in red right there, and the Butterfield grade is right there. The Ventura grade down here, and the Canal grade.
So would that be like Mount Cliff Road?
Yeah, Mount Clef, and well, that would be the Cal Lutheran property, which would be right down here. Okay. Questions, and then I'll tell you a couple more stories.
I just
So
don't
what happened to
know where the
Joaquin?
Santa-
What happened to Joaquin?
Well, Joaquin has a bit of a problem. Joaquin may have never lived. But the man that they said was Joaquin finally got caught up. They supposedly cut off his head, put it into a great big jar, and exhibited it around California. Somewhere along the trails, his head disappeared. Thank goodness. Now, if that was a real Joaquin, but do you know that there is $2 million Joaquin buried? $2 million in gold coin buried in the Santa Monica Mountains. And they're still digging. So that was some of the money that he helped people get rid of. Maybe it was. Other questions?
I still want to know, was the Santa Rosa School the one on the 118 or?
This is, it's on Santa Rosa Road, which connects, okay, as you go up Santa Rosa Valley, it's the upper end of the valley. Okay, just after you leave Santa Rosa School, you go straight ahead and you can go off to the left to Moore Park.
Yeah.
And you go straight ahead and you come to Joe McCrae's property. Okay. 1934. Joe was doing very well. He was a handsome young man doing westerns and doing romances and so forth. He talked to, who was this famous comedian of the 30s?
Charlie Chaplin?
Will Rogers. Okay, talked to Will Rogers. And Joel said, I have some money to invest. I could buy a really fancy car, I'd use a Word or something like that. Or maybe I could buy some land. And Will said, buy land. Joel bought originally 600 acres, eventually expanded to 2,400 acres, and became much of the upper end of the Canal Valley on the east side of Moore Park Road. Clear down to Avenida de Arbores, Sunset Hills area, and he continued into his life. The property now is in the Canal Valley Park District, and you can take tours of his home and stuff like that. Good friend. I used to go shooting jackrabbits on his property. And one day he came riding up and said, Gerry, Don't shoot my cows. Let's see. Oh, let me. I'm going to pass this around here. This picture here is a bunch of sheep, over 100 sheep, going down the Norwegian grade before it was reconditioned. Why sheep? Now the canal was barley and wheat and hay. So after it was harvested in October, November, along came the sheep, and they started at Thousand Oaks Boulevard and worked their way north. And then they had to go down the Norwegian grade to get over to the Terra Haute and so forth. And if you look carefully here, you'll see a whole bunch of cars stacked up over here, waiting their turn. This is in the 40s and 50s. And by 1950, they were selling homes on the canal. $10,800. And I said, nobody will pay that kind of money for a house. $10,800. Canal Country Homes. Avenida Arbolas, and so forth. The demo home, you could not go into the rooms. You could only walk down the hall. And I finally figured out what they were doing. The rooms were so small that all the furniture was about half size. Bedrooms, and so forth. Well, they still sold. And now they're $500,000 or whatever they are. All right, I want to stop and answer questions. And yes.
As you're around going down the freeway on Agora in that area, you see all these little tiny terraces. Were that caused by cattle walking along there or what?
Probably right. On the left side as you're going down.
Right on the left side.
Right, yeah. The Calabasas grade. Think about going up the Calabasas grade, and you're on the stage, and it's slowing down, and so forth. How the world has changed. Other questions? Yes.
I'd like to hear about your grandmother.
Okay. First came to America the young men. Then they sent for the girlfriends or for friends. Women did not travel alone, so one of the men had to go back and bring them. Lars Peterson went back. This was about 1889. Brought 3 women with him. One of them was my grandmother. She worked 2 years as a domestic in Santa Barbara. Grandfather was a stonemason, so he worked on the repair of State Street and also the repair of the Santa Barbara Mission. The women were domestics. There was a small colony there of about 30. They wanted land because that was something you didn't have in Norway. And so the canal back. Oxnard Plain back too, but it was too expensive. $25 an acre. It was too much, way too much. And they bought on the canal. It never been farmed, sagebrush, so forth. They moved out there in 1890, spring of 1890, wagons. They built 4 walls, laid out on the ground, and then the walls were tilted up like this, supported, and then they put a roof on it.
Mud walls.
Mud walls, right? One wall, and a spring for water.
Do any of those still exist?
I've got a picture up here I can show you. Can I tell you a story about one of those homes? You got time? The year is about 1900. It was just about Christmas. And the rains had not come. And this night, the winds blew and blew. And Jorge his wife were in bed. And all of a sudden, they were under the sky. And they could feel the raindrops. And the walls, the wind had blown, and the walls all fell out. They looked for something to cover themselves. They found a rug. They wrapped themselves in a rug and went over to Carr and Peterson's house. And they put them in their bed. The men went with lanterns to see what they could find. And here was broken crockery and so forth. But down at the bottom was a crock with some eggs, some cracked. They took the eggs, and the next morning they had a big community feast celebrating. That day the men all picked up the walls one at a time, carried them down to another location. They gathered some rocks. They set up the walls. They got the roof and put it on top. Pounded in a few nails, which were all handmade because you couldn't buy nails. And they had a new home. And this was just about Christmas. And together, that community celebrated Christmas. This was 1900. They've been there about 10 years.
What was their source of timber in those days?
Timber, they planted a brugum grove, eucalyptus trees, right down at the very end of where Cal Lutheran is now. And they used the brugum trees for a lot of lumber. It's not good lumber.
Anybody have a sawmill in the area?
You know, this digressing, but you know where the lumber mainly came in at? Right here. Adolfo, I give talks on Adolfo Camarillo. And Adolfo Camarillo, when he built his home in 1890, 1891, 1892, all the lumber came from the sawmills in Northern California. It was all redwood to the wharf here at Hueneme. It was loaded by wagons and taken to his. Anyhow, very poor. Everything was dryland farming. By the 1950s, land was starting to sell. That's the end of the Norwegian colony, as we know. Questions?
What do you mean by dryland farming? No irrigation?
No irrigation.
What grows this?
No irrigation. Everything. Now, the Daly family, Adolfo Camarillo, had dug artesian wells in the Camarillo Plains just about 1900. They discovered on the Camarillo property, they discovered water at 8 feet. Here's what the water level is now. Okay? And the Dalys had an artesian well. That was the beginning of the irrigation as we know. Adolfo also dammed up Cayugas Creek. The canal didn't have any water. I mean, it was a very, very dry area. It still is.
That's why they call Ventura County beans, beaks, and babies.
Beans and babies. I love that. And of course, bees come later, 1906. There was no Oxnard at this point. Yes, questions? Yes.
Getting back to your comment about jackrabbits, hunting jackrabbits, do the people here know that Conejo does mean rabbit?
Oh, well, that's a good point. Conejo means rabbits, or jackrabbits. So, oh, yes, we haven't got to. I need 3 volunteers. Good. All right, 2 more. Okay, good. Okay. And 1 more. Okay. Come on up here. All right. Now, you are the key man here because you are Getting this here.
Oh.
Now, the purpose of here is to get 8 inches into the basalt, the volcanic, so we can do what? Dynamite. Okay. Now, this is a 2-3-person job, okay? Your job up here now, okay, is to hit it. Hit it, okay? And while she's hitting it, you're up here. 1, 2, okay, let's practice that. Get a little higher, a little higher. We gotta get 8 inches here now. Okay. Good, good job, girl. Good, all right.
So, please.
So, the grades, the Ventura grade, the original Norwegian grade, the legal region grade, the canal grade, much of it. The original canal grade just wrapped around the edge of the mountain like this. And the same way with the 200, it wrapped around the mountain. There was no cuts or anything. As you drive down the canal grade, take a look at the cuts.
Oh, yeah.
And they're huge. And then, next time you drive down the canal grade, stop at the sign that says Dolphin Memorial Highway. Dolphin Memorial. And look right out here. And you'll see a silhouette in the caprock. That silhouette has been identified as running antelope, the Chumash Indian that met the DePortola expedition in 1776 at the top of the canal grade, or Adolfo Carrillo, or Abraham Lincoln, or yourself. But it's really interesting to stop at the top of the grade, get out of the car, and think what it's like up there. I do tours of the grades of western Ventura County, if anybody wants to do one, like, and we stop at the top. And we share with you, what was it like to have 10 mules in front of you, 74 bales of hay behind you, at the top of the barrel doing it. We've got to get it down there, because that's money. It's a living force. I've talked long enough. Richard, yes.
I want to know, I don't recall the farmers here growing hay. Was that like the staple crop of canal?
The canal, they grew a lot of hay because they were into barley and then, of course, lima beans later. By 1895, 1890s, they're into lima beans, beginning of lima beans here. And then, of course, later into citrus and so forth. So the canal was a convenient thing because we still had horses. Okay, the first tractor on the canal was 1913. So, and probably down here, maybe 1910. How many here have seen one of the first tractors? All metal wheels. Okay.
My dad owned one in Indiana.
Okay.
You go right through the creeks, right over the creeks.
Okay. Well, this particular one had open metal wheels and it sank in the creek, so they had to go get all the horses and pull the tractor out.
Oh, yeah, but it was sinking, but this is kind of
Other questions?
Rock.
We're going to stop.
a rock.
Yes.
We take the trail road when we go back in. Was that originally the road from Fort Wayne into the canal down to Fort Trail?
That was the first really entree to the canal and to the Oxnard Plain and to San Fernando Valley, along with, of course, 126. Going out.
You know anything about Highway 33 going into Old Rock?
I do not, but that's a good story right there. Denison Grade, that's another good one. Yeah. Yes.
You mentioned that the property in Oxnard was already at $25, was that?
That's
because it-
Oxnard Plain.
Okay, was that because it had already been developed, or?
Right, they were, at that point, they were into barley here, like I mentioned, a lot of barley,
Okay,
some
so
wheat,
it's already-
quite a bit of corn.
And 20 inches of black top.
And
And marijuana.
That was an
There's no record in here about marijuana.
Got the pictures, oh yeah.
Oh,
Interesting. Okay.
that's old news.
So it was already developed.
Yeah,
That's why
it was,
okay.
and that was large farms.
Yeah.
I remember that 1865 to about 1870, about 1880, there was a major fight over the land grants, over the rancheros. Who owned it? Did the original Mexican family own it? Did the white squatters who had moved in on it own it? Did the men like Scott who bought large parcels thinking that there was going to be a huge oil boom on the Oxnard Plain, own it? And so forth. And by 1880, 1875, really, that got settled, and then we had
Let's see the county government in that little area, Santa Barbara. or-
well, yeah, we became a separate county in 1876, something like that. And Cedar Hill, Roy Bennett. Other questions? Well, thank you very much. You're welcome to come up and look at all the exhibits. Thank you, Gerry.